So, okay, we are laughing. Yes. Look. Look what we're doing. Come on over here. We're enticing them. Come, chocolate.
I know,
This is
Hansel and Gretel with
the only place for chocolate,
right?
This whole wine festival, nobody has chocolate.
Oh, we know how to do it, girl.
You do.
This is Live Fit Magazine. You're live on Live Fit Magazine. Thanks so much.
Fun, you guys.
Oh, you too. Hey, cheers.
Cheers, Phoebe.
Good to see you, Nannette Eaton. With Wine Harlots?
Hi there.
Oh, man, you've got a fun job and a fun blog. Life is good.
Life is excellent.
Tell me about Wine Harlots. How'd you get started?
Wine Harlots started when the economy tanked. That I was a claims adjuster for a decade, and I didn't have a job. And my friends and family are saying, "We love you, Nannette, but you've got to get a hobby.
Yeah.
You're driving us crazy." How about the internet? We heard something about blogging.
How about that internet? Yay to the internet. We're on a Google Hangout right now.
So basically, I thought, well, how about wine? I've taken a few classes, so I know a little bit about wine, but not tons about wine. So I thought I could learn as I go along, and it became like a huge thing for me, that social media was really dynamic for me. Like on Twitter, I have 57,000 followers, and it became this great passion. It's not quite a career yet, so we're working on that.
But you know what? I'm glad you brought this up, because we haven't touched on this, and I know we're here to cover wine and the San Diego International Wine Show. But what's really cool is what makes this possible to connect and tell the story about the San Diego International Wine Show is social media. I mean, back in the day when I started in broadcast journalism with Channel 10, you had to have 3 cameras, you had to have engineers. I mean, it's little old me and the Live Fit Magazine team, and we're broadcasting live. The world has changed.
Well, and it's so great because I'm older. But like you said, when we were coming up, that everything was a boundary. If you didn't work for Channel 10 or worked for or have a publisher, you were denied access.
Yes.
Where now it's, it's the Wild West. It's like any idiot with an opinion can be out there, but it's like you can't deny your creativity anymore. It's sort of like anyone with a cell phone can publish or create or do anything. There aren't really any limits of, because back then, if you want to do a television show, you'd have to have $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Now you need a cell phone.
Yeah.
And an internet connection.
Yeah. And in the right hands, you're bringing the world together. You're bringing out information. You're able to see, wow, let me check out that event. Let me have a look and see, do I want to come down there? Do I want to spend my, $65 to get in the door? And you can see, there's a lot of folks here. It's not overcrowded, so you can still get in. You can actually talk to the wine distributors. You can talk to the winemakers. You can talk to top sommeliers. We've had Charlie Plummer here, and he's fantastic. And he's with Kendall Jackson, Jackson Family Fine Wines. Hillary's another fantastic sommelier. Yeah. She's coming in tomorrow. I know she's been watching our live streams. And these folks, you don't just pick up the phone and say, hey, let me talk to Charlie or Hillary or, Justin Munn over at Orfila, who's making the wines. They can be hard to get a hold of.
Well, and that's the whole thing about these wine tastings for someone who's a beginner. Because people are like, oh, I don't really know what to taste. And it's like, reading a book is great. Information is, words are great. But with wine, I like to say it's lab practice. You actually need to taste the wines. Yeah. And a lot of us, with a budget, you can't taste like premier wines or the exclusive things that are really hard to find. And coming to events like this, and this is a great.
Yeah.
Because like I said, because we're still early and it rained a little bit, so San Diegans don't like to come out when it rains.
Yeah.
So it's been a really great event. But for people who don't have access to a lot of wines, this is great because Franciscan is here, Kendall Jackson, premier expensive wines, and then like little boutiques like William Allen.
Oh, William.
Shepherds is here.
William Allen's amazing. We did a story on him.
And
He's
but again,
incredible.
it's a boutique, small,
Very
1,000
small.
case winery.
Yeah.
And then to shout out in San Diego, because San Diego doesn't get a lot of wine love.
Yeah.
Vesper Vineyards is here, and
Oh, very cool.
they're excellent.
Yeah.
Like you had said, Orphelia. And what else? Oh, Mexico is here. We've got a couple of booths, and so Guadalupe Valley and Baja Wine is represented.
Right. Yes. Well, cheers to that. So, do you have a favorite?
I'm a Wine Harlot. We don't play favorites at all. We love them all. But there's so many. I mean, that's the whole beauty of it here. There's so much wine that even if you only like a Chardonnay or a special time, try everything, because the more you taste, the more you understand things. Because you might go, oh, I don't like this, but I like this. But the more you taste, the more your palate expands. And things that I thought were amazing 5 years ago, I don't find so amazing anymore.
Yeah, the taste
Or
change.
things that you kind of go, wow, I didn't understand it 5 years ago. Now I'm so into it.
Yeah.
And so the more things you take, and also it refines your palate. That if you've only tasted for, like 5 years ago, I didn't understand Pinot Noir. That was because I couldn't afford Pinot Noir. So I was drinking $10 Pinot Noir, and I'm going, I don't hate it, but I don't get it.
Right.
And then now that I'm getting wine samples from it, I'm like going, oh my God, I get it now. So coming here is so great, because you're going to be tasting things out of your budget. You're going to be tasting boutique things that even if you have a budget, you can't find it.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have access to the wine producers, the winemakers, so you can ask the questions that you know, be like, how does that work?
Right.
And
because we should mention, a lot of people have been asking about the educational seminars, and they're free, which, from my understanding, I haven't been to a tremendous amount of wine shows, but a lot of times they charge extra for
that it's an add-on. I just had, they just had a seminar for Rhone varietals in California. So Vesper Vineyards and Two Shepherds did it, and it was just great. We went through 4 different wines that they had, and it was just, and they're talking about their process and what you're tasting, and it's so much fun for people who aren't in the wine business, because you don't have that access, and it was just so great for them talking about how they do things.
Yeah.
Come on down.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. You got to come on down, $65, and you're in the door. A great experience. There's a lot of other events going on here, so I should mention we are at the Del Mar Fairgrounds in the Del Mar Paddock, and if you've purchased tickets to some of the other shows, I think there's a horse show, and there's some crazy some crazy exercise group out there that's lugging, I don't know what, it looks like they're lugging sandbags. I mean,
I don't know.
and I'm a workout queen, but
yeah, but I'm doing 6-ounce curls here.
Well, you got it. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the coverage, and we really appreciate it. Now, I have to have you address one thing. There's people who, no, this is going to be hard for you. There's people who are going to want to know it's fun. It's fun. It's great. It's great people watching. But there's people who are going to want to know.
Being too loud.
Yeah, I know, right? Who are going to want to know, how did you start what you did, and how do you make it happen?
Well, anybody can do this. I started off as an insurance investigator.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm funny and I'm clever.
Yes.
But you don't have to be funny and clever to do this. That I started off with a website and a URL. So basically, you can do this for less than $100
How did you build your audience?
One person at a time. Everything with me is organic, because at the time I was unemployed and I had no money, so I couldn't afford to buy followers or do any of those type of things.
And we want real followers.
Well, otherwise you're kind of scamming somebody. It's like, oh, I've got how many ever followers, but if they're not real, if they're bots or there's somebody in India, they're not buying your wine, they're not reading your website.
Ooh.
Wasn't me.
Cheers! So that was death of a wine glass.
And it's still early here.
There's more.
Basically, authenticity, and you just want to be proactive and talk to people, because that's, I think social media, it gets in this whole weird selling atmosphere, where it's like people don't want to be sold. They want to be your friend, and that's the whole thing. Is that, especially like William Allen, really great social media wise, that he started off as a blogger doing and writing, and it's reaching out. Or Dirty and Rowdy, Hardy Wallace started out as a social media guy, and he built this following one person at a time, just talking to people, and like now you can't get his wine. You know what I mean? It's so highly allocated. But that's what social media is. It's relationships and almost friendships.
And what I believe, good stories. Information and news that matters is what we like to say. Lifestyle news is what we report on. It's the stuff that you very often don't hear through the traditional streams of news coverage. So we're thankful for people like you. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Cheers again.
Phoebe.
Enjoy, and we'll be sure to check you out. Tell us your site.
Oh, wineharlots.com, and everything social, it's Wine Harlots with an S.
Awesome. We'll be there. You know, you're
Cheers
following you. Yes. Thank you. Big hug.
Big hug.
Thank you, lady. Love it. Thanks so much. We're at the San Diego International Wine Show at the Del Mar Paddock. We hope that you come on out. It's 2 days of fun, a wonderful extravaganza. We've got a little break in the music right now. Jimmy and Enrique performed. Lots of other wonderful Soul Seduction. Susan McCrae, she's coming up.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
Because I just have a feeling she's gonna get a groove on, right? Oh, they're like, all right, cut her off. Stay tuned. You're watching.
There is wine here.
You're watching Live Fit Magazine. I'm Phoebe Chongchua. Thanks for watching. Be back in a few.